Hope everybody knows who I am, especially the existing parents. I'm Kyla Barber, head of the juniors, vice principal here at Repton Dubai. For those new families, welcome. I would also like to take the opportunity to introduce Miss Paige Roebuck, who is head of year 2, and Mrs. Karen Affley, who is head of year 1, and they are joining me in school today to be able to support me in the presentation. It's if you have children in other year groups, it's a very similar presentation for each of the year groups so that everybody does hear everything the same and the same message. But what we've decided to do is to be able to provide 4 presentations today for the different year groups, because there are slight nuances for the different year groups regarding expectations for the classroom, expectations for uniform and for equipment, and also for the way that the children come in the morning and the way that pickup is. So I hope that in this presentation we address everything for you as year 1 and year 2 parents. I'm always very aware as the presentation is going on that there may be questions that you specifically want answered. We've tried to address all of those with our frequently asked questions that we sent out last week and also through the presentation today. If you do have any questions after the presentation, please jot them down and please send them to Miss Roebuck if you're in year 2 and Miss Affley if you are in year 1. We will then collate those and we'll be in a position to be able to put out another set of frequently asked questions next week, coupled with a video that the teachers have put together so that you've got a visual idea of how to be able to come into school and how to do the pickup, so that you can share that with your children for an added layer of confidence for when you return. So I hope that answers, sort of sets the scene, and I'm going to start the presentation now. Chitra, would you just be able to put your thumbs up if you can see my screen? Can you see Repton Dubai? Great, thank you. I'm going to keep looking at you, so if you let me know if anything goes wrong, I'll be watching you. Thank you for your help. So, really for today, the aims of the session is so that you're aware of all the preparations that have been put in place for school reopening. And that's twofold: one for the health and safety aspects, and also one for the teaching and learning areas of questions that we've had. So I'm really pleased to say that the KHDA have given their full approval to our readiness plan, and less than an hour ago we were visited by KHDA compliance visitor, and he walked around the school to check our readiness and to satisfy the KHDA that not only have we written our plan, but we've actually put things into action. So the school is in full readiness for us to receive the children back for new students next Thursday, and for the remaining students from Sunday. However, we do recognise that this is a really anxious time for many families, especially when you've got very young children, as you do with year 1 and year 2. So please know there are 118 protocols that we are expected to follow from the KHDA. We are compliant with all of those. However, we also recognise we need to be flexible and supportive, and to work with each family individually to make sure that you as a family are confident about the provision that we're providing, and we will work with you as a family. And as I say, Miss Roebuck and Miss Affley are here as heads of year to support you in those areas. Please do let them know if you've got any specific questions. So remote learning, our remote learning provision has also been approved by KHDA, and through the presentation I'm going to talk to you about what in-school learning will look like, and also what remote learning will look like. So I will go through these at a bit of a pace, but the presentation will be sent to you, and it is being recorded so that we will be able to send that to you with the commentary as well. For all children over the age of 6, and that means in year 2 and upwards, they will be required to wear a face mask. In year 1, you're not required to wear a face mask. For coming into school in the mornings and for pickup, we are only permitted to allow one family member onto the school for pickup and drop off. This must be an appointed person, a named person, and an appointment system is in place through Engage, and I'll come back to that in a little while. The reason for this is to ensure that we've got a track and trace. Should a family member become unwell, we're able to say this was the member of the family who were in the school, this is the area that they've been in, and we're able to refer to our protocols regarding alerting other families if there was any concern, and making sure that we've got our sanitisation programme in place. So that is something for you as families to think about, who will be that one person dropping off and picking up. If it is somebody different, then again, please do let us know. If there's one person dropping off in the morning, maybe somebody picking up in the afternoon, that would be great for us to know that for those reasons. One of the other things for the social distancing that we've needed to consider is how we get everybody on site but social distanced. Therefore, we've extended the time from a 7:20 pickup, drop off, to 8 o'clock. So you've got a 40-minute window to drop your children in school. This, we're hoping, will allow the car park flow to be more effective, and it will also enable us to socially distance. The teachers will be in the classroom ready to receive the children from 7:20. But can I ask, please, if you do arrive a little earlier, please stay in your car until 7:20, because the teachers need to be ready in their rooms. They won't be permitted in until that time, and I don't want children to be in a situation where they're waiting in the reception with you, and then again we're challenged on social distancing. So please aim for that 7:20. We are asking for an 8 o'clock latest drop off. However, please don't worry. We recognise at the moment it's about getting children in safely. Please don't worry if you're a little bit late. There's no reprimands. It's just that's the window that we are asking for, and registration will be taken at 8. At the other end of the day, the pickup, we've extended that to a 2 p.m. to a 3 p.m. pickup. Again, reason for that, to be able to socially distance, and all the school will be following their one-way systems to pick up. So we will need a bit more time. Please do let us know who's going to be picking up and which time between 2 and 3, so that we've got your child ready to be able to just leave the classroom door, meet you in the corridor, and proceed down the one-way system. So you'll see as you come in, there are 2 meter distanced spots on the floor, and you'll be able to come in. The KHDA have permitted us to have family member in the school for no more than 10 minutes. Therefore, it will be a case of coming through the temperature check, sanitizing your hands, following the one-way spots through the center of the corridor. The children will be waiting at the classroom door. You won't be asked to come to the classroom door. You'll be asked to wait on the spot. The teacher will make eye contact with you. They'll be expecting you because of the appointment system. Your child will join you, and you will continue along the spots, along the one-way system, out of the school and back round to the car park. And we do, of course, ask that you wear your mask at all times. We've set the school into 2 sections. So if I speak to Year 1 parents first, Year 1, please park in the junior school car park. Please follow the guidance of the security guys across the zebra crossings. Come into the junior school reception. You'll have your temperature check. You'll sanitize. You'll follow the steps. You'll take a right into the Year 1 corridor. Drop your children. The teachers will receive them. You'll continue out at the bottom of the Year 1 corridor, back round and through junior reception on the other side to exit back to the car park. That's very straightforward for Year 1. For Year 2, because you're a long corridor, we've needed to divide you. So this is something you might wish to refer back to. If you are in Bobcats, Caracals or Jaguars, you will follow exactly as I've just described. You'll come through the junior school reception, and you will follow into the Year 2 corridor. Parents, when you're picking up, you'll continue to follow the spots through Charlotte's playground to the right. It's all marked out, and you will exit the school, follow round and return back through junior reception. So that's exactly the same. And I say there'll be videos to accompany this for you. If you are in leopards or tigers, you're going to come through the print room door where Miss Corticus stands. That means that you can park up. There's Year 2 designated car parking for you. You will walk to the white picket fence. Again, I will show you that on the photographs and on the video. You'll come through print room door for your thermometer check and your hand sanitizing, and you'll find yourself in the Year 2 corridor at your end of the Year 2s, and your parents will proceed through the Year 2 corridor, out through Charlotte's playground, loop round to come back to the car park. That sounds a lot when I'm telling you, but when you watch the video, it's much more explanatory. The one thing that we are not permitted to do is to meet with you or have any discussions in school. So please don't think the teachers are being unsociable at the end or the beginning of the day. It's a very clear protocol that we're not allowed the interaction. So any meetings will take place online via Zoom or Teams and other communications through email. So please do keep up to date with your form teacher, and your form teacher will keep up to date with you regarding meetings. As I've already mentioned, there is a track and trace protocol in place, and that's why it's so important we have our appointment system with a named person so we know who is coming. If somebody we're not expecting comes into school, we are hesitant to let them in because we've got our named people, but they would be required to use the logbook. So please, can we have that named person? That will avoid any awkwardness if somebody unknown comes on site. Please, can I ask that everyone wears their school lanyard at all times? And if you don't wear your lanyard or it's a visitor, we then need to question the health and safety because these would need to be hand sanitized. So that's why we ask you to wear your lanyard. We can recognize you and it's yours, so there's no need to worry about sanitizing those. You're also asked, as a member of the community, you would have received an email to complete a health and safety travel declaration about your family's recent travels, and please can that be sent to the junior school nurse at reptondubai.org. So that's on the portal, a letter, and I think you've received that as email as well. For reassurance and part of the protocols, we have a designated isolation room, which is separate from the medical room. And if in the event, hopefully not, in the event that we do need to use the isolation room, a very clear protocol is in place. Families will be contacted and you'll be asked to collect your child. However, before we get to that point, we would say if you have any concerns that your child or you are unwell, please do not come into the school, and your child can continue their learning through the remote facilities of Seesaw. So if in doubt, please don't send your child in. From a hygiene point of view on the protocols, these have been very clear by KHDA, and all areas must be cleaned and disinfected every hour or after every use, and a deep clean at the end of every day. Year 1 and 2 are not required and are asked not to bring in their own hand sanitizer. The reason for this is, especially the fragranced ones that are fruit smelling, unfortunately young children have mistaken them for sweets or for fruit juices. So the KHDA have stated that year 1 and 2 should not bring in their own hand sanitizer, but the hand sanitizer will be in school and the staff will be supervising the regular use of hand sanitizing. It will just be part of the daily routines. So if we can ask for that to happen. And shoes and bags, they're the one thing that will be coming from home to school every day with your children. If we can ask that you can sanitize those at home every day, that make sure that that protocol is complete. And as I'm sure you're aware, paper and the use of transferring of resources is not permitted and must be limited as much as possible. Therefore, each child will be provided with their own school iPad, and that will be designated to them. So if I'm allocated iPad number 1, I will use that throughout the day. I will then put it back on charge at the end of the day. It's sanitized in the evening, ready for me to return back, and then iPad 1 will be mine again the following day, and so forth. The only thing we do ask you to bring, please, is a set of headphones that are compatible with the iPad, and Miss Roebuck has very helpfully added a picture. It's the new iPad lead, or a wireless one. Miss Roebuck, do you want to add anything about that, or have I described that correctly? Are you able to unmute yourself?
I'm sorry, I was unmuting myself. No, that's fine, thank you. Just making sure that it is the new iPad lead, so the earphones will plug into it and work.
Lovely, thank you, Miss Roebuck. Each child has their own cubby box under their own desk. In year 1, we're going to look at that to see if it's best for them to have it under their own desk or whether in a designated cubby box, but it will be in their classroom. They are the only person who is allowed to touch their equipment in their cubby box. So that is their bespoke box. So limited things to come in, as little as possible, please. And then those things will be theirs, and they will come home again with them at the end of the day, or be left in the cubby box for sanitizing with the school. All children are remaining in their own year group learning zone, and that means, therefore, if you're a year 1 child, you remain in year 1. If you're in year 2, you remain in year 2. So that's fairly self-explanatory. The breakout area for lunch and snack, we're not permitted to use the dining room at the moment, but the children will be permitted to use the wide corridors, socially distanced, but they will be permitted to use those areas as a change of scenery. You might want to consider an easy to wash toy, activity, game that they may want to play to be used at playtime and lunchtime. That also will be kept in their cubby box and taken home to be washed, or will be sprayed at school at the end of each day. So hopefully that's answered the questions regarding the health and safety and the hygiene. The other big area that I'd like to talk about this afternoon is about the academics. The phrase blended learning has come to all our ears recently, and there's been a lot of confusion about blended learning. What does that mean? So I thought it would be useful to explain to you what that definition means, and to hopefully gives you some clarity. So blended learning is when we refer to a mix of live teaching, so normal class teaching, and online teaching, as in Seesaw. It means that the teachers will be using traditional methods such as practicing their letters in their book, writing a story in their book. We would deem that that is more effective and better education for the children to practice their handwriting than doing it on a screen. However, there may be some activities that they can do better on a screen and doesn't require paper. So that's what blended learning means. Once the children have written their story or their letters, they would then take a photograph and load it onto Seesaw so that the teacher can mark it without having to touch the book. So it's a little bit of traditional paper and pencil, and it's a little bit of technology. It also can mean that some lessons are pre-recorded, as in some of the experiences that you had last term. It also means that there is some things that you may do at home. So, for example, at the moment, music and PE we're not being deemed ready to provide in school. So the PE lessons and the music lessons will still be provided as part of our curriculum, but part of the blended learning, there'll be something that will be asked to take part at home, and then again through Seesaw. What it does not mean is I'll come into school some days and not others. It's not a part-time curriculum. The curriculum is full-time throughout the week, but there will be a range of different methods in the way that we teach the children. We, of course, want all our children back. We are very proud that we have the largest campus in Dubai, if not the UAE. So we have great social distancing, and we've been approved and now inspected this morning to be able to confirm that all of our things are in place and the KHDA is satisfied. However, we do recognise that some families, for medical reasons or maybe nervousness, are not ready or able to come back. Therefore, we want to support you to be able to make sure that you're feeling that the teachers are there for your child as well, and for you, and to be able to work with you to encourage you to be able to participate fully in school. So looking at the educational provision that KHDA has set out for us, as I've explained, all the children will be in year group zones and they won't deviate from that zone. So they will stay in year 1 or in year 2 for every day. In year 1, we have a classroom of 10 in a room with an adult. And for example, if we use Ladybird's classroom, there'll be a Ladybird's classroom across 2 rooms. Now, one of the questions I've been asked is, how does that work with the teacher in one room and the TA in the other? As long as we socially distance, the teacher is able to move from one room to another. The teaching assistant is able to move from one room to the other, but they're not permitted to go further afield, so that we'll make sure that your children get an equal amount of teacher time and an equal amount of teaching assistant time. So that's something that we have considered, and we've had approval for our provision. In year 2, exactly the same, but we're permitted 12 in a group. The children will be wearing masks and exactly the same. So if we think about Panthers, there will be a Panthers class. It'll be separated into 2 groups with a maximum of 12 in classrooms next to each other, so that the same interaction can take place. The children will be in the same learning group, so they'll go to the same classroom every day with the same children day in, day out, so they'll have the same routine as they would if they were in a class of 24, but they'll be in a class of 12. We have assigned additional staff to the year groups to support, and they will also stay in the year group for the day. So for example, for Arabic teaching, our Arabic staff will be with year 1 or year 2, maybe on a Sunday or on a Monday. They will teach Arabic on the day that they are present, and they will visit the year groups, to the classes, to make sure that everybody receives their lessons. What we are not permitted to do is to, as we would normally do maybe for phonics, is move children from one room to another. That's not permitted. Therefore, the teachers, remaining socially distanced, are permitted to rotate. So they will visit the children in their classroom. I mentioned specialist teaching. So the teacher will be in the year group for the whole day, the Islamic teacher, the Arabic teacher. And for sets, this is going to be an exciting new venture into technology. The teacher will be based in one room, but for sets, the children will zoom into the lesson as if they were at home for the live input, if they're not physically in that classroom. So that will take a little bit of training. It will take a little bit of adventure, but we are confident that we have enough facilities and enough experience with the children to be able to make sure that they get direct face-to-face teaching, as well as some Zoom sessions, so that we give that equal consistency to all the children throughout the week. For those children who are not able to attend, I ask please that you email Mr. Jakes, our Deputy Head of Pastoral Care. He will work with you as a family to make sure that your needs are identified, supported, and work with you on an individual basis with the heads of year to make sure that you are fully included in the academic provision that we're providing. So there, just to reiterate that, if you're not sure that you're going to be able to come back into school, please do speak to Mr. Jakes, and then we're there to support you for that. For actual equipment, we do ask, as I've already mentioned, that children bring their own small pencil case of stationery and their own headphones. I have provided a student checklist so that you can mark all of that off so that you're happy that your child's got everything. And as already mentioned, PE and music will continue online currently, and they will be reviewed at half term when we've got a better understanding of how those subjects could be taught without compromising health and safety. We will still be having homework, and although we're not permitted to run physical extracurricular activities, I hope you enjoyed the enrichment program over term 3. We will be running another YouTube enrichment program from the teachers, and homework and enrichment program will start in week 3. At the moment, we're not permitted to open the prayer room. However, if pupils do wish to pray, we ask that they pray before and after school, or if they wish to pray during the day, if they bring their own prayer mat, there will be provision in the classroom for them to pray at an appropriate time. The library is also currently closed because of the exchange of books. Miss Roebuck, would you be able to just mute? Just if there's somebody just off mute, would you be able to just put on mute for me, please? Thank you. So again, we ask if the children would like to bring their own reading book, they're very welcome. It will remain in their cubby box, and then it can go home each day so that the children are never far away from a book. And I've already mentioned about an activity at break time should you think that you would like that. I recommend that. Something small for them to play with at break time and lunchtime would be great. So if you are opting for the remote learning, what will that look like? You all have your own Seesaw code. If you're an existing pupil and new pupils, everyone's been provided if you're re-registered for the summer series, which I hope you're enjoying. That's the same code when we come back to school, and all learning will continue on Seesaw. There will be Zoom sessions from the teachers for the core subjects, and if you're at home, you will be able to come into the classroom through the screen and receive the information and the instructions from the teacher. Teachers will do all their marking and feedback, whether that's written or verbal, on Seesaw. So exactly as we were doing through the remote learning, so that we're not exchanging books in any way. Will be homework starting in week 3. This will also be on Seesaw, and it will also include the home learning activities for the subjects that we can't currently offer, which are PE, swimming and music. As soon as we can get those things back online, we're really hoping to get those back. We're itching to be able to provide those fully as well. Teachers will be contacting parents through email. You should also already be receiving the heads of year emails. Your form teacher is your first port of call, so please do expect emails from them. If you've got any concerns, please do contact them. Please don't use the messaging service on Seesaw. It's just so that we're able to track emails, monitor them, and make sure that any issues are resolved in a timely manner and communications are effective. So please use the email for your heads of year and form teachers. That would help us and enable us to make sure that we are replying to you in a timely manner. We do have an expectation of a 24-hour turnaround, and throughout our opening in term 1, there will be phone calls home from your form teachers to you, just to make sure, like we did in term 3, that those relationships are being built and that we've got that individual family attention, which is so important, that we're going to be missing if we're not able to speak to you on a regular basis. Food and beverage. We're not permitted to open the dining room. So we do ask that all families please provide a lunchbox and drinks. 2 litres of water is recommended. I'll come back to that in a moment. Please, can I ask, because the teachers are not physically allowed to be near the children, can you put the food in easy to open child-friendly packaging so that they can open their own yogurt pot, they can open their own tubs, they've got easy plastic safe cutlery that they can use. Just a self-sufficient lunch and snack box will be an amazing help for the children and the teachers. And because we're not able to go to the dining room, we one of the expectations is that we stagger lunch times. So it might mean that the children will be eating at different times, but we promise, we assure every child will eat, and it will give us that opportunity to make sure that they're socially distanced when they're in the breakout areas in the corridor. And so we still got that distancing. One of our other protocols, we are not permitted water dispensers in school because it's seen as a high-risk area, an area of where people can share resources and also they can gather. Therefore, all water dispensers have been removed. The school will have some bottled water, but it would really help us, please, if your children can bring in as much water as they can carry. We suggest 2 litres now for year 1 and year 2. That's really heavy. So the suggestion is that at the beginning of the week, you may wish to bring in a pack of maybe 6 smaller bottles that can be in your children's cubby. Then they can take it from their cubby box as they need it. Once the bottle is finished, they can put it in their bag to come home. You can refill it, and then they can top it up throughout the week. 2 litres is a lot to drink, but it's better to have too much water than not enough. The school will have some, but again, trying to keep those protocols in place. If your children can have their own water, then that will negate the need to share. So here's the pupil equipment list. We ask for a fresh uniform every day, and because of that, we're offering flexibility. So we don't mind if it's the normal formal uniform or the PE kit. We don't ask for blazers and we don't ask for ties, but we do ask, please, that it's clean every day. So we know that everybody's coming in with fresh clothes, and I've already mentioned about the shoes and bags because they will be the same every day to be sanitized at home. For year 2, please, 1 face mask and a spare just in case would be great. Stationery items in a small pencil case, lunch and snack box, a break time activity, water and headphones. So that's just really a summary. That's a useful slide, slide 15, a summary for the children's equipment. For you, please, this is the checklist of the things that we ask for you to consider. Book a, it's not actually, we don't need a drop-off time now, it's just a pick-up time, but a pick-up time on Engage, so that your child is ready for collection as you walk through the corridor on the distance spots, and your child will be ready at the door to just join you and continue on through. We do know that there's many families with more than 1 child. Please just, if we ask you, pick up the youngest one first and then follow the one-way system. That's absolutely fine. Don't worry if you're a little bit behind on time. We know that you're coming, and we'll have your older siblings ready, and the children will stay with you on the social distance spots through the one-way system as you collect the children and then exit. Please do confirm your 1 named adult that will be coming through the school, and please do make sure that they have their lanyards. and please do complete the health and travel declaration and send it to the school nurse. Email is there. A video will be coming out about the car parking, the dropping off and picking up arrangements for your year group. The heads of year are making the videos today. They will be edited over the weekend. They will be sent to you next week. So you should have seen the lovely video that came out yesterday with the general protocols, but these ones are exactly the detail for year 1 or year 2. So you can sit down with your child and say, this is where we're going to park, this is where we're going to walk, we've got to follow the yellow spots, this is where I'm going to drop you, this is where I'm going to go, and you're going to go into the classroom. So please do spend next week talking that through with your child so that they know what's going to happen, and there's a reduced amount of anxiety or worry for that area. As I say, we really don't have the space to socially dist everybody in junior reception. So please do stay in your car until your appointed pickup time. You're then in the cool, and we know that when you do come through, we can socially distance, have the temperature check and the hand sanitizing. And a big plea, this is a community. We all need to rely on each other to be responsible. If you have any worries that you're in doubt about whether or not your child should be in school, please don't send them to school, but you can of course still use the Seesaw log in remotely and use the Seesaw activities that way, so the children won't necessarily feel like they're missing out. They're just accessing school in a different way. I've put some slides in here just to show you, especially for new parents, if you're not sure what the school looks like yet. This is our main junior reception. There will be signage to show year 1 and year 2 where to park. Year 2, if you're a Bobcat, a Caracal or a Jaguar, this is the door that you will be entering, so you know where you're coming through. And then if you are a Leopard or a Tiger, you're looking for the little white gate from the car park, and you're going to come through print room door, and Mrs. Corticus will be there to meet you. Picking up, exactly the same. The parking will be there for you. Please, parents, come through this door if you're year 1, Bobcats, Caracals or Jaguars. And if you are a Leopard or a Tiger, please come through this door. I think that's everything now. So if I stop sharing and I come on here to speak of you, I hope that that has given you a clear picture of all the preparation that has been going on behind the scenes. As I say, you may have individual questions. Please can I ask you to send them to Miss Roebuck and Mrs. Affley. You do have their email addresses, because question and answers, I'd rather put them all on a frequently asked question, and I will send them all out to you as answers, so that we're able to share all the questions with all the community, even the parents that haven't been able to make it today, because I'm sure their questions will be similar to yours. So I'm thrilled that we've had so many people joining us today. The recording will be sent out to you so that you've got a recap with the presentation. Also, the health declaration will be sent with that, so that you've got the form. And if I can ask for you, if there's any questions, please contact Miss Roebuck or Mrs. Affley. So that's it. I hope that wasn't too whistle-stop tour for you. We're really excited to have you back, and thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Just hand over to Miss Roebuck and Mrs. Affley. Is there anything else you would like to finish up with? Just as I'm sure you want just to say hello to everybody. So if I hand over to you now.
Just to say hello, and we're really looking forward to seeing your children and children very, very soon. And if you've got anything at all, any queries, any questions, please email and please get in touch with us, and hopefully we can answer them as soon as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, the exact same. Thank you so much for your time today, and we can't wait to have you all back in school. But any questions at all, just drop us an email.
Lovely. Thank you, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.